I will cause showers to come down in their season. There shall be showers of blessing. Ezekiel 34:26. When Howard Rutledge's plane was shot down over Vietnam, he parachuted into a little village and was immediately attacked and imprisoned. For 7 years, he was imprisoned and tortured. His food was little more than a bowl of pig fat. He was completely alone, cold, and often tortured. How did he keep his sanity? He wrote a book later with his wife called In the Presence of Mine Enemies. He said he wanted to talk about God and Christ and the church. But in his prison camp, there was no pastor or Sunday school teacher or Bible or hymn book. He realized he had completely neglected the spiritual dimension of his life. It took him going to prison to realize how empty his life was without God. And he tried to go back in his memory to those Sunday school days in Oklahoma. Since he didn't have a Bible or a hymn book, he had to try to rebuild those memories in his mind. He went through several dozen songs, trying to remember the verses and the scriptures. Every day he tried to recall another one. One night during a huge storm, the power was knocked out in the prison, plunging the entire prison into darkness. He had tried to go to sleep when the rains began, but pretty soon all he could hear was wave after wave of water hitting the prison. During that moment, he remembered a hymn from his childhood. Showers of blessing we need. Mercy drops around us are falling, but for the showers we plead. He writes that the enemy knew the best way to break a man's resistance was to crush his spirit. Some prisoners just curled up and died. All of the talk about scripture and hymn memorizing might be boring to some people, but it was the way he conquered his enemy and overcame the power of death around him. I will cause showers to come down in their season. There shall be showers of blessing. Ezekiel 34:26.